I'm in Love with the Church Girl is the title of a new movie opening in theaters this month.
And you're about to meet the executive producer and writer of this film. The story is about his real life as a major drug trafficker. Here's a sneak peek.
This guy is the biggest drug trafficker in all of California, which is exactly why we want to nail this guy.
You need to come to church with me and find yourself a good woman there.
Oh, that's Vanessa. She goes to Bible study every week with my wife.
It's not ending.
It's only the beginning.
What church do you attend?
Right now, I'm kind of in between churches.
We have been praying for a godly man for Vanessa. Are you that godly man?
I used to be a drug dealer, Vanessa.
Coming from where I'm from.
And they came at us hard. Fans all over the place, SWAT cars, guns.
I think you're as dirty as sin.
Would you like to tell me why there was a gun in your car?
What do you want from me?
What is so bad about going to church?
God don't want somebody like me in his church, okay?
And joining me now is Gally Molina, the man whose life is the subject of the movie I'm in Love with the Church Girl. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
First question, how deeply involved were you in drug trafficking?
It was deep. It was up to here deep.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was, you know, it was funny because a lot of people they gravitate to that level, but kind of almost jumped right up into that level. So it was pretty fast and furious, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what happened after you meet this church girl in 1994?
Yeah.
What happens?
Well, you know, I was never the same, man. She invited me to church, and, you know, never having stepped foot in a Christian church, I'm like, well, all right. And I try to think of what a Christian would say. I'm like, hallelujah, I'm going to go to church with you. And that day, the pastor came with this amazing message, and I think it was meant for me. I tell the Spirit, they call it conviction now, right? He came about possessions, and I'm kind of slouching in my seat because I'm covered in jewelry, and I got this car outside, and he's like, so after the service, I said, hey, are you trying to tell me I can't have things? He says, no, son, you can have possessions, just don't let them possess you. And I'm like, wow, it started right there for me.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So you give your life to Christ. Shortly after that, your past essentially catches up with you. Am I correct?
Yeah.
What happens?
Well, you know, I'm driving one day, and here comes the helicopters and the SUVs and the machine guns and DEA, U.S. Customs, all of them came out, and they, you know, did catch up with me. And and again, like I said, it's just, you know, it was my choice. Got to own it. And but I went to bed on top of the world that night and woke up with the world on top of me, man.
So you end up in prison. What happens to you there? What happens? I mean, you get saved. You figure, I've given my life to Christ. I'm doing the right thing now. But your past catches up with you. You end up in prison. What happens?
I mean, it's a scene in the movie, too. He's like, what else you want me to do? I give you plenty of money every Sunday in that bag, and I'm here I'm reading your little book. Like, what's going on? I'm yelling and arguing with God. To the point where I was just on my knees in tears, sobbing, just didn't even want to live anymore. And I get to prison, man, and I think the time on bail, I was on bail 5 years and 11 months prior to going away, fighting this case. I think that time was probably even harder than being away because God was just pruning and bringing. And then I thought, I was hoping I was going to have to go away. So I get there, and I think he said, listen, I'm going to give you some of my word. Just enough to sustain you with what I'm about to do. And then I think I'm okay. Because now we're going to go away together, you and I. We're going to spend some time where you're going to really reflect, because you can't do it out here.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then here's the story. So you look back now I know what he was doing.
So what makes you decide? You've never done a film before. What makes you decide, I'm going to take my life and turn it into a film?
A God thing, you know. It's like, I come from the entertainment industry, records, DVDs, so I kind of knew what to do, but never having made a film. But God gives you a vision, he gives you provision. And there's a reason why when I sit at a table with every executive in Hollywood, and I know exactly what they're saying, and I know how to translate it into how it works for me, because God had his hand on this. But man, I didn't think I never thought I was going to make the movie. And he just gave me all the tools, gave me the right money, the right investors, the right producers. My director and I were good friends, man, and it was a God thing by all means.
Indeed.
Yeah.
We're just about out of time, but real quickly, what do you want audience to take away from this film? What do you want your audience to take away?
That God is really real. And if he could use somebody like me to do his work. I mean, I'm a pastor now in California, and it's like, you know, man, he can use me, he can use anybody. And that the tagline in the film is "Come as you are." That means that come with your problems, come with your scars, come with your hardness. You know what I'm saying? But come, because he's got something for you, man. And I need people, street guys to CEOs to 9-to-5ers, to understand that God is for everybody.
Indeed, he is. Gally Molina, thank you so much. The movie is called I'm in Love with a Church Girl. It opens in theaters on Friday, October 18th. We want people in the seats.
Yes, we do.
Indeed, thank you.